Hey puzzlers, my name is FLEB. I'm a puzzle designer, and this week I want to show you a really cool puzzle hunt puzzle. It's from the Famine games, just like the lump of coal puzzle, and it's called the Xbox. And you can see here it's pretty large, it's pretty complex. There's a lot of strange things written on the side of it. And on the top here, there's a very long cryptogram and a switch. And when you switch it on, things start to happen. The Xbox puzzle is a puzzle hunt puzzle, so there is a way to get an English word or phrase out of this. It's incredible. It has inspired a number of puzzles that I've seen in other puzzle hunts, including the Mystery Hunt, which is the biggest one of them all. It's really an amazing puzzle. So after the break here, I'm going to go through the solution, and it's going to be a while, but we'll get through it. And yeah, it is amazing. The first step in solving this puzzle is to solve the cryptograms around the cube. There's a lot of them, and they're consistent. They use the same key. So let's start with the big phrase up here at the top. That translates to, your job is to harness the power of these 5 individuals to enter the word forceful into the box. Good luck. Next we have the words around the cube. These translate to Noriko Ashita, Scott Summers, Bobby Drake, Max Eisenhart, and Jean Grey. So let's think about what that phrase could mean. If your job is to harness the powers of 5 individuals, which ones do they mean? Well, they probably mean the people around the cube. But do those names sound familiar? Those names are the names of X-Men. After all, this is the Xbox. So in order to harness those 5 individuals, you have to use their powers on the box. This side of the box is Scott Summers. If we apply his power as Cyclops to that side of the cube, an H lights up on the top. This side of the cube is Bobby Drake, who is Iceman. If we apply ice to cool off this side of the cube, eventually it gets cold enough to display a letter at the top, P. This side of the cube is Max Eisenhart, also known as Magneto. If we apply a magnet to that side of the cube, we get a letter. This one is a D. The bottom of the cube says Jean Grey, who has the power of telekinesis. If we turn the cube upside down, we get another letter, A. And finally, Noriko Ashita is Surge, a mutant with electrical abilities. So we need to find a way to deliver power to this node. If we look at the top of the cube, all of the screws are flatheads, except for one, which is a Phillips head. Taking a piece of metal, in this case a bent paper clip, and touching those 2 nodes, the only Phillips head screw in here and that flathead gives us the next letter, B. Now we have some information from the cube, but we still don't have the answer. We need to enter the word forceful into this box somehow. But how are we going to do so? It turns out that the key is to combine the mutant's powers. For instance, if we use the Surge's ability, we get a B. If we at the same time use Cyclops, we get a J. Now remember that Cyclops' was originally an H. So what this means is that you're converting the letters to numbers, adding them together, and then converting them back every time you combine 2 mutants' powers. Let's go over that in more detail. Every X-Men has an associated letter with an associated number. Those are listed on the top left. In the case we just showed, we used Noriko Ashita's power along with Scott Summers at the same time. Their letters are B and H, which turn into 2 and 8, because they're the 2nd and 8th letter respectively, which gives us the 10th letter, J. Using this, we can break down the word forceful into sums of the other powers. Using this, we can enter forceful into the cube. Now we're ready to start entering letters into the cube. To do this, I've enlisted the help of my wife, because it's more than a one-person puzzle. To get the O, we're going to have to use 4 different powers at the same time. In between letters, there's a button at the top which we can use to lock in answers. The first powers we have to use together are surges and magnetos. Doing so gets us an F. The next one is the most difficult one. The O requires the use of 4 powers. I missed it. This puzzle was originally designed for 4 people.
Don't move.
As a result, my wife and I had a lot of trouble entering the letters into the cube. Here's where we finally got that second letter, the one that required 4 powers.
There.
In the end, we entered all the letters, although the first time we did it off camera and had to reshoot it. We'll share that answer with you now. The red ring of death. That's the answer to this puzzle. That's the English word or phrase that you have to get at the end of it to solve it. It's been a long journey, but we got it in the end. If you're interested in more puzzle content, please subscribe below. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and happy puzzling.